Yes, I am Yori Falani. So welcome back from the, International Labor Day, holiday, Nigeria being one of, being part of the Committee of Nations. We also observed a national holiday. Okay. Since then, we discussed the subject matter, but let's just show you, how it went in Lagos State. It happened all over the country. Let's show you the Lagos State version of it yesterday as a brief recap before we go into our main subject today.
It's a day to pay tribute to the hard-working men and women whose dedication and commitment contribute immensely to Lagos as a center of excellence. In their speeches, Chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress, Lagos State Council noted that the celebration calls for sober reflection, especially with the current economic hardship in the country. They listed issues to be addressed by the government to include the approval of new minimum wage for workers and not increment.
We are hopeful to receive the announcement of a living wage and not an increment on our salary. NUT are appealing to Mr. Governor that the wage award of 35,000 that you are paying willingly and freely, the local government chairmen, they were paying 25,000. We will visit them after 7 days. We are ready to shut down all the local government if they refuse to pay these arrears.
For Governor Sanwo-Olu, workers deserve to be treated with dignity, and the state government will continue to create an environment where they can feel valued, safe, and empowered.
I want to reaffirm our commitment to building a more inclusive and equitable society in which the interest of the workforce receives the attention that it deserves. We will continue to invest not only in our educational sector, we'll ensure that we provide equipment in various workplaces in a safe and sound environment.
The governor also spoke about the fuel scarcity in the state, adding that it will be fixed in a couple of days.
I want to assure you that we have enough fuel in our various tank farms. It's only the logistics of getting the fuel from their various tank farm and depot. Let us just wait, and for the next couple of days, it will clear out.
At the event, the workers took the center stage of the stadium for the march past. The governor salutes the invaluable contributions of the workers across all sectors.
As a reminder of the important role played by the working class and laborers in this society. Salam alaikum, TVC News, Lagos.
Okay, so there you have it. A cut back to the event in Lagos, the national holiday and celebration, May 1st in Lagos. Well, you saw Comrade Sesi there, an NLC stalwart, apart from the governor. There still is a point of, how it is, a point of, disagreement. One newspaper, one national newspaper this morning, the Punch in front of me, captures it quite well. It says, federal government, labor talks deadlocked. NLC defends 615,000 naira demand. Of course, that's up at the, at the upper end. But just for you to know, and I imagine that what Labour is doing is that, it knows that it's a negotiating process, and so they have it at 615,000 naira a minimum wage. Anything below 615,000 naira, according to NLC TUC, in their demand, will make workers poorer. Well, you could call in if you want, just for a little while, before, as I said, we go on to our other subject. But I don't know what you think of the position of, Labour. It looks like we're going to have another round of protracted talks. Labour, no doubt, seeing it as doing their job for the workers of Nigeria. Without the workers, then there is no wealth. And so they've always made the point that the Nigerian worker is not getting a good deal. In fact, it has given the 31st of May as the deadline for the minimum wage. That's what we have in there. I don't know well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but the extent to which that's going to be possible remains to be seen. I expect that when we go into talks, when they're not deadlocked anymore, then there'll be some figure, between, I think, is it somewhere around 300 and something and 615 that Labour is defending as the absolute minimum. So that's really that on that, because yesterday was Labour Day and we had a full program on it. But then, following from all of that is where we're at now. You also heard Governor, away from Labour a bit, sort of. You also heard Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos there speaking on the fuel scarcity that has created something of a problem all over the country, but in particular in Lagos State. Black market or what? People who are seeing it as another season of making a quick buck, a fast buck, sold the product at something like anywhere between 900 and 1,000 naira a liter. But Governor Sanwo-Olu there was just saying what we've always been told since this all started, that there is no real, shortage. The governor put it down to logistics. Others on our program yesterday, when we also touched on this subject, you recall that there are those who put it down to, sabotage. Any way you want to look at it, this has to be sabotage. But, the official line is that it's not, well, the official line didn't contradict anything, like saying it is not this or it is not that, but it did say that if you're going to take it as an authority, then it is no more than a logistical issue, and that these things happen. They've tried to explain the logistics part of it, but the point is, it really has wreaked havoc on society. And there are those who felt that since we've come away from, we thought we had seen the end or the last of fuel shortages since the subsidy on fuel has been removed. Like a lot of people never thought that we would still be going through this, but here we are again. This time it said that yes, we're still contending with the removal of fuel subsidy, but now it's logistics. Did I hear Banjo is calling in from the UK? Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, just a quick question regarding the minimum wage.
Yes.
The Labour are talking about.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, okay. I think, I don't know, if the government could adopt a practice all over the world where the advanced countries, they pay minimum wage. They have a minimum rate rather than a minimum wage, because not all the private sectors will be able to pay this minimum wage.
Yeah. Yes. I did hear the point, and other viewers are hearing it as well. I don't know if it is similar, a minimum rate as opposed to a minimum wage. Is that what you said? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, minimum rate. Yeah, that's correct.
A minimum rate would be okay and would be better, is what you are saying, than insisting on a minimum wage.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for the contribution. These are the kind of things that we are also here, and no doubt, surely there will be experts at the negotiating platform, and these are the kind of things that they probably will be taking on board, and will be telling us what is doable. Why are we talking about a minimum wage is the question, rather than a minimum rate. There's a difference. If you have a minimum rate, and I think similar to that point, we also had people call in yesterday and tell us that, this thing is a difficult thing because standards are not the same across the board all over the country. And so, what might be right for one area, one state, if you want, might not necessarily be right for the other. So these are some of the things that will have to factor into the negotiations that are sure to follow. Maybe that's why the headline is saying federal government and labor talks deadlocked. as NLC is defending the demand of 615. But as Banjo has just said from the UK, the wage and the rate is not the same. Why aren't we talking about a minimum rate? I wish I had those experts here. I don't want to go into it myself. I wish I had those experts here to help us explain the difference between the two. Sadiq is in Ikoyi. Good morning. Good morning, Sadiq in Ikoyi. Can you hear us? Oh dear. Sadiq in Ikoyi, can you hear us? Good morning. I fear that there might be a technical issue because for a number of seconds there, I was hearing the echo of my voice. So I don't know if there's a delay between us and where you are. It happens from time to time. I don't know if Sadiq, can you hear us? If you can hear us, Sadiq, you're on now. Good morning. Okay, so as I was just saying, you know, a viewer has called in and spoken about the difference between a rate and a wage. Labor is saying that anything below 615,000 naira, and I imagine that's across the board, not I imagine, for sure, that is the position of NLC, that anything below that will just make workers even poorer than they are. So it's really going to be a struggle. No, maybe I shouldn't even say that. Maybe I should just wait for the event to take place, for the process of negotiation to start, and let's see how they, you know, what the issues are. Calling in from the UK, we've got Mrs. Akimbolaji again. Good morning, Mrs. Akimbolaji.
Good morning, Mr. Yori Folari. This is the first time after 10 years I've been trying to call TVC.
Great.
I thank God for today anyway.
We thank God for today. Thank you very much for calling in. Ada in Jos.
Yeah. You see, one thing that we need to learn in Nigeria that can make things easier, even for the people governing us, that they will not be having all these accusations, stress, and all this. No. They are comparing things from abroad, but they never compare the plans and the way they are executing things in abroad. So if the comparison has to be right, it has to go the same way. Like here now, if you are pension, you have your gratuity, you have your pension, you have your this, everything is in right from when you are working. They have highlighted. You don't need to ask. You don't need to be stressing for it. 2 years to the time, they will give you a reminder. So here you are pensioning. So they keep it. That will be a record reminder. 1 year, they will remind you. The government, then when it is that right side, you will have your letter. When it will start, how much you will be taking. They will even ask you. If you are not pleased, this is the number or the email to call or to write to. We will explain to you what we work out that contribute to what we are offering you. That is stand. If you're a single mother, you have your dues. That will not make you be stressed when you are working. They will give you discount from your house, discount, and the houses, everything is there. Your children will take. But they don't compare all this in Nigeria. They just talk about what they are doing, how they are paying. Then the tax. You are talking tax. How do they satisfy their people? You don't talk about it. How do they stress less for them? You don't talk about it. The way they make things good for them, that they are happy, that everybody is suffering. Even the politicians, they bring their family here because they know it's good. Why can't they implicate that place? They are educated people. They went to a free school. They benefit from Nigeria than anybody. So they should work this out. Let it go the same way. Indeed. As they are comparing. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Kimbolaji. Thank you for calling in from the UK. What can I tell you? You know it all. You've been here, you've gone over there, and you know the two systems, and now you're a bit impatient that, look, I think from your point of view, it's not rocket science, but we have to start somewhere. And so here we are. It's all about reforming the entire system. And that's what this particular administration, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president, that's what he said is key on his list, his to-do list. Things need to be reformed. We need to begin to approximate some of the things you were talking about, Mrs. Akimbolaji. Yeah, I mean, we are getting some new ideas, aren't we? Government's focus is, changing slightly. Things that weren't really considered before are being considered now. Look at the whole mining sector and all of that. And, look at the whole student loan sector. So, yeah, these might not be more than drops in the water to some people, but we've made a start somewhere. And I'm sure you understand, Mrs. Akimbolaji. It's not going to happen overnight. But I assure you, from what we've been told, you also have been told, we are on a reformation process. Now, someone else has called in. Say it again, please. Who? Who? Tell me again. Who? Who has called in? Elder David from Alimosho. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Happy New Month, Yori.
Happy New Month to you. Happy New Month.
Elder David from Alimosho. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Happy New Month, sir.
Same to you. Please go ahead now with your contribution.
A month of freedom for every one of us. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very happy for one thing. The government just gave a relief, some percentage, which me and you are aware of.
Yes. I'm sorry, don't listen to that echo. It's something happened this morning. Don't listen to that.
That the government have given some relief, 30% and 35%, 25%. But when the union are negotiating, okay.
Go ahead, Elder. Go ahead, Elder. I just try to avoid the, okay, I know you can't not hear it, but unfortunately it is what it is. This feedback that we're getting, it's a technical thing. So sorry about that, where you are hearing what I said in the last few seconds. You'll be hearing that, and it can be distracting, and it can be quite a psychological feat, especially when it's you yourself, not to listen to yourself when you hear yourself being played back to you. You do your Ogadima. Good morning.
Yes, I'm calling from just what you said. I was so happy I'm watching, Mr. Akim Bolaji has made my day. That's what I've been saying here. Each time we talk about what happens in Nigeria, you see people comparing, in the US, they have taken this one per dollar. They forget that they work in hours there. But in Nigeria, you can be taking sick leave, going for burials, whatever. At the end of the month, you're paid. So we're not comparing it properly, you understand? Then it's a functional democracy. I keep saying it. Our own is dysfunctional. I'm sorry to say that. But we'll get there sometime, as you said. The problem now is, for instance, this minimum wage you're talking about. Even labor himself, the way they are even negotiating, I think it's a joke of the year. After they say 615,000, I know that it's not feasible. So it looks like a joke. And even the two labor unions or whatever, they're not even united or speaking with one voice. That's the problem. Let's speak with one voice and come up with something. And then the government itself, since it's something that is, according to law, that every 5 years there should be a minimum wage, increase. Why can't they do it quietly? Do we have to set up a committee that will spend billions of naira to sit? Why can't it in 5 years? They do it quietly. Then, as I said yesterday, they subsidize education, subsidize health, subsidize transportation, subsidize, there was something else I mentioned, housing, 4 things. If they do it, the minimum wage doesn't have to be too much, Let the money have value. the way to go. And then the national fiscal federalism, instead to analyze what it has, and then the look at his own page and pay his minimum wage. How are you going to do a blanket minimum wage now? The federal government is doing a blanket national minimum wage. What of the private sector? If they now take that and say, okay, private sector, if you have 20 workers, you must pay this national minimum wage. The private sectors that cannot pay will downsize, and you can't put a gun in the neck not to downsize. So why are we digging a new hole to fill an old one? All the same, let's not do for Nigeria.
Agadima Ada, thank you very much for calling in. And on that greeting note, it will indeed be well. I'll just take a break